Our next speaker is a lovely lady of our generation. Her career started as an artist, print ad, and runway fashion model, endorsing products and designers in Asia Pacific and the Americas. After high school, she made the natural transition as a radio jockey and TV host. She then earned the beauty title as Miss Cebu 2016 at 19 and used this platform to empower the youth, women through weightlifting and develop remote communities in the Philippines through marine conservation and cleanup projects by free diving. To maintain tip-top shape, she became a certified yoga teacher, barbell strength coach, and a IDA 2 free diver. She is a two-time TED Talk speaker and continues to uplift spirit through online diet and fitness coaching. And her workshop at her business BaBeBoBs, Beauty and Fitness Consultancy. She recently released her music compositions on Spotify, co-founded Japan Poster Shop, studying her BS in Health Science, and is modeling in the Philippines and Tokyo, Japan.
Allow us to welcome our next speaker, the lovely Miss Raine Baljak. Let's give her a virtual round of applause. Some hearts. Let's go.
Wow.
Welcome, Miss Raine.
Thank you very much for this warm welcome, everyone. I'm really quite amazed with all the digital thing and how everyone is so warm. Thank you. So I'm just going to start sharing my screen. Will that be all right?
Yes, Miss Raine.
All right, thank you. I was watching the previous presentation and I was just so impressed with the organization that everyone has done to prepare for today. So great job to the LIKHA team. Can you see my screen? Hello?
Yes,
Yes,
we
Miss
can.
Raine. Yes, Miss Raine. I'm sorry.
Okay, great, thank you. All right, so this is a presentation that I have prepared for today, and I'm just going to get started. And before talking about my career, I want to go to the very start of things, all the way back. Um, Hold on. So I'm going to start sharing about my great grandmother. And she was the muse of Danao City Fiesta, and Danao is a city in Cebu. And her daughter, which is my grandmother, was the muse of Miss Danao. She was also Miss Nursing at Southwestern University. And she married a bodybuilding champion in Cebu who also pioneered scuba diving in Cebu. So this is the lineage before I was born. And then my grandmother and my grandfather gave birth to my aunt, who was Miss Medtech and Miss Southwestern University. She even participated in Binibining Filipinas. And when Christian Dior entered the Philippine market, she was one of the top models selected at the time. Her younger brother, my uncle, was the macho man at Cebu Aeronautical School. And my mother was one of Cebu's 5 prettiest. She won Best in Long Gown and Best in Swimsuit. And then she participated in Bining Bining Filipinas, making it as a semifinalist in 1990. This is my mom after having me and still modeling. And the reason why I wanted to share this with all of you is because my career in modeling actually started because of this lineage. I am the fourth generation in my family. That was something of my own choice. And I know the previous speaker talked about passion, but I will explain later how, even though my family sparked the flame, it was I who kept the flame going. So as I go through this presentation, you'll learn more about that. Does anyone here know about Johnson's & Johnson's baby products? So if you're
Yes, Miss
familiar with
Raine.
Johnson's & Johnson's baby products, in Australia, it's very popular. And I was actually born in Australia, but I moved to the Philippines when I was 2 years old, and I was raised in the Philippines since, because as you can see, my whole family is Filipino. And my mother, she put me into a competition as a baby called Johnson's & Johnson's Baby of the Year in 1998. I was only 1 year old and a half at the time, but I earned that title, and that's what really launched my career in the modeling industry. Years later, I'm 11 years old, turning 12, and I have my first fashion show. So this is my first fashion show with my mom for Orochina Fine Jewelry. And in the same year, we had a fashion show for Janice Minor's company, Bining Bining, which are hats and bags. And the following year, she opened her branch at J Mall in Cebu. So a lot of these fashion shows are taking place in Cebu, which is where I'm from. And in my high school years, that's where my career really kicked off as a model. And for most models, even in Europe and other parts of Asia, 15 to 18 are the peak of your time because there's a type of daintiness and softness. So when I was on my last year of high school, it was really funny because we're all graduating to become seniors, and then my classmates are driving to the mall and they see my face plastered on a billboard, and it was just funny in my school. And it's fun when you're young, but as you get older, you never really think that, wow, actually, this can become my career. So that's really what happened after high school. It was just developing over time. And I really have to thank my mom and everything that she learned from her predecessors because they initiated the path. But I developed my own identity in the field, developing my own professionalism. And so I've now putting everything here together for you, a small timeline of my career, some highlights, modeling from magazines, billboards, newspapers. I've even had larger than life standees that shocked me at my age at 18, 19 years old. And a turning point in my career was when I joined Miss Cebu, because that gave me a national platform to not only be a face, but to also speak up about things that mattered to me for my community, because I'm from Cebu and I'm proud to be a Cebuana. I'm proud to be Filipino. So I really wanted to utilize it well, which is why I had a lot of different projects throughout time. So in 2021, that was another turning point in my life because I moved to Tokyo in 2020, and in 2021, because COVID isn't as bad, the situation is starting to improve throughout the world. So now photo shoots are coming back and people can now meet slowly, bit by bit, safely. And out of over a decade of my experiences, I tried my best to summarize a lifetime of learning into 45 minutes, and it is a challenge, but these are my big three. So the first one is posture. The second one is walking and expression. And lastly, posing. Of course, for runway and photo shoots, it's different, but I will detail these as we go through our presentation. So allow me to begin with posture. The value of a correct posture, as I learned in my current degree, health science, is that it prevents fatigue, it improves your personal appearance, and it permits a graceful movement in relation to your everyday walk. So even though you're not a fashion model on the runway, you can still practice the proper posture to make you look elegant and graceful in your daily life. And it makes you feel good and look good, representing your own career. Good posture is a part of personal care. And when you continue to practice it, it assists in the prevention of many physical disturbances that occurs because of aging. Proper posture is also a self-disciplinary factor, which contributes to the development of other good habits. It also allows you to have a gracious and pleasing personality, which indicates poised, a well-orderly individual, which helps you in your professional career. So even though you try modeling as a stint when you're young, which is the case for most models, you can still apply what you learn as you get older. And maybe when you get older, there's a demand for a model at you. When we think of posture, these are some examples of what posture may look like. And everyone has different posture based on weak muscles, bone misalignments, and certain habits which prevent or allow the individual to maintain proper posture. Out of these examples presented, you can unmute your mic and let me know, which do you think is the proper posture here? Is it on the left or the right?
I would guess it would be upright.
And that's right. Woo! These are the 5 defective body postures where you see different kinds of hunching, which is kyphosis, lordosis, droop shoulders. But over here, you have the good natural posture. And I could give you a textbook definition of it, but to simplify everything from my own experience, I want you to try this as I share it with you. So bust out, bring your chest out. And when you do that, your shoulders come back and your stomach automatically comes in. And then bring your chin a little bit up. You'll feel some kind of gravitational pull or tightness in your abdomen, and look far and out. You always want to see, if you're on a ramp, you want to see the audience in front of you. You want to make eye contact. And this is something you can even apply as a public speaker, or in the future, if any of you want to become CEOs of a company, you can easily apply this into your industry. Even engineers, mathematicians, scientists, historians, this type of posture is something you can apply to any industry and of your daily life. And that's something that I would like you to think about, is applying this proper posture into your life, because it will save you later. So as a model, you're considered as a hanger, which means that you have to showcase the attire. In traditional times, models were always very skinny, and there was a reason behind this. Has anyone ever wondered why there is a height or measurement requirement to becoming a professional model? So the reasoning behind that requirement of height or body measurements is because each leg of the model would be uniform. So when a designer rents out a stage and the models come out for their exposure, each model would take the same amount of time to do their walk. And if the fashion show is longer than what was agreed, then obviously the designer would have to pay more money. So that's why in the past, models had to always be uniform and fit a certain standard. And there was always a stage director who would guide the show and share a certain choreography that you would have to remember and perform. For anyone who's going to enter runway in the future, if an accident occurs on stage, proper posture can help prevent that. But if it does happen, just brush it off, because the show must go on. Don't dwell on it, just move on and smile with grace. So for these reasons, models have to be fit. Even plus size models like Graham, she has to work out. And the reason why is because when you're wearing these high heels, imagine the stamina that it takes to wear them for so long, and the muscles required to be able to hold a certain facial expression or pose for the camera. For some models, attires are so grandiose, just like these Victoria's Secret angel wings, that are so heavy you need strong back muscles to be able to hold them up. Also, for crazy couture designs, you really need proper posture and strong hips to be able to gracefully execute and showcase this attire, even though inside you're like, wow, I'm kind of struggling. No, you don't show that. You have to behave composed, express yourself gracefully, and showcase that outfit as best as possible that you can. So how to achieve this proper posture? The body of a beauty queen or a model must be fit. Otherwise, the clothes don't look nice or they won't fit you. Let's say that someone is plain looking. Makeup can easily enhance or change a face, just like the magic of drag queen makeup. And it's really an art. But if you're not fit, nothing will fit you as a model. So you must maintain your size. Because from my experience in the industry, you'll just get a call like, hey, I need you for a photo shoot today, or I need you for a photo shoot next week. There's a show in 3 days' time. No one's going to wait for you to get your abs in 1 month. And also that's impossible. So you have to practice. You have to train every single day. Even if you're just sitting, doing your homework at a desk, because I've tried that being in school and modeling, you have to still maintain your posture. You have to practice. It's a matter of habit, incorporating it into your daily life. So avoid slouching, hump shoulders, and the spinal curvature while working or while you're in school. And the reason why I must emphasize on this so much is because even if the clothes you are wearing are not expensive, but you carry it well, then the attire will become expensive because how you carry yourself can entirely change what you're wearing. I know a lot of people who can purchase the most expensive and lavish clothes, but there is no justice if the wearer does not know how to carry the attire. And that may be what models are for, but you can be a model in your own way, a role model in your daily life, in your own career of your distinctive field. You can dress nicely and feel good, look good, representing your unique field. So projection is something next to think about, and the projection on runway or ramp is different from a pictorial or photo shoot. So when you're walking down the ramp, you have to be confident. Show the appropriate expression for that show. You have to look far, gaze into the eyes of the audience, look at every single person in the room, catch their attention, and be mesmerizing, while of course, remembering the choreography and posing at the seconds that you get in your spot. Every gown has a different type of walk, so I have prepared a video from when I was competing in Miss Cebu 2016 because the 12 contestants for this competition all have different kinds of gowns. And so I thought this was a really great example for you all to see what it's like when you wear different kinds of outfits and how each woman has their own unique walk. Walking, you don't have to change your natural walk to be something that you're not. You just have to enhance it by practicing some feminine hip swaying, arm swaying, and learning how to gaze and emote. This is me now, where I have a soft expression on my face, and you'll see later here where I look at every single person in the room. And even though I'm tired or hungry, I still have to remain composed and feel and show that I'm really enjoying what I'm doing because people can feel that. And always remember to maintain your posture so you look elegant on stage. So it's all about practice. For this competition, I had 3 months of practice of my walk prior to the actual show. And thanks to all of that practice, I ended up earning the Best in Evening Gown and ABS-CBN Kapamilya Star of the Night Award. Now this video I have prepared is also with my Miss Cebu court, and I'm sharing this with you because there's a different choreography for this fashion show where the stage director has asked the model to pose at a specific place on the stage for a specific amount of time. And it's important that you talk with your teammates. You're all working together to showcase your outfits as best as possible. So don't be afraid to communicate and say, hey, can we practice our choreography together before the show? I'm sure they'll be happy to do it. And it's important because that's your role. You're showcasing that outfit. You're putting on a show for the audience. So you have to have fun together, build a relationship with your peers. Because when you showcase that outfit and the audience is having fun, the designers or the company hiring you is going to love your work. So the walk. I have my own business, which is BaBeBoBs Beauty and Fitness Consultancy, and I do train young women and men how to achieve a model figure or how to walk like a model. And some of my training did consist of practicing how to walk in heels, but the image that you see here on the right is one of my clients who's practicing how to catwalk. Now, she's the same age as all of you, and the reason why she's in sneakers is because she has not ever experienced wearing heels in her life. And if I was to introduce heels immediately, it would just hurt her back because she wouldn't be used to it. So we were practicing how to walk in sneakers, which is something that she's comfortable with. And then we slowly progressed to using high heels after she finished her fitness regimen in order to build the necessary back muscles and butt muscles to be able to walk in heels, because the angle of a high heel completely changes your body weight distribution. And so that was something that we needed to practice. For another client of mine, we had to perform back extension movements to build her glutes because there was an imbalance in her hips. So these are some things that are normally addressed as you have a fitness training or workout routine in order to prepare for a fashion show photo shoot, or in these clients' cases, they are preparing for their debut, to be a debutante. And their parents just asked me to prepare them for social gracing events when they grow up to become young women. So with expressions, next segment, when it comes to pictorials, they want perfection. That's why there's a hair and makeup crew, a lightsman, a technician, a photographer. And if you're lucky, the photographer may cue you on how or where you should look and what expression to give. But in some cases, you won't get that cueing. You'll have to prepare ahead of time. So it's important to always ask for a peg or composition card so that you know what is expected of you as a model. In my case, I was the only model for Sinulog, which is a very special celebration in Cebu. And they wanted to showcase different styles that anyone could wear to join and participate in Sinulog. So these are the different expressions that I gave to the outfits. And this is just my interpretation based on the colors, based on the fun that I saw when I moved in one of the outfits. So you have to study the attire. In my mother's generation in the 80s, modeling, she tells me that modeling was more simple. You would just have to pose. But in today's generation, there's a lot more action, there's a lot more movement, and there's even video commercials. And so every generation, the modeling industry is changing. Beyond these pictures being my face, I want you to take notice of how my face has different expressions. Notice how I'm just wearing a tank top. My outfit is not fancy, but the jewelry is fancy. And my posing in each image is different in order to highlight the jewelry. And that was something that this company asked for because they were doing a mother-daughter campaign and they wanted to highlight a new collection of their jewelry. So as a model, you have to showcase what is asked of you as best as you can. And when you work with other people, you need teamwork so that everything is easy. You have to be willing to make the shoot work, and whatever you're provided to wear on that day, you have to just accept it. So for example, in one of these shoots, I don't know if you can see my mouse cursor, but this one here on the right, one of the girls had to change outfits on the spot. And thank goodness she's fit, because from wearing something that covered her belly, she now had to expose her belly, do a midriff type of shirt. And if you're not fit, then you would feel very shy about your physique. So this is another reason why, as a model, you do have to be fit. Because if you're asked on the spot to change your outfit, wear a midriff top or wear a swimsuit, then you're prepared. You won't be shy. You can still push through with your job. Because as a model, your job is to look good, have a nice physique and an attractive face. But just remember, as a model, nude modeling is something that's completely different. And that's something that I will further highlight later. Here's video commercials. You have my mother and I, where we have a relationship. We're a mother and daughter team. And that was something that this company wanted to highlight, the tenderness, the sweetness, because their objective is to sell and market their product to a mother passing down heirloom to her child. So that was the objective for this video commercial. But for this next commercial, which was for Z Lifestyle magazine, they wanted to bring together the beauty queens of Cebu, Cynthia Thomalia, Jamie Harrell, Steffi Aberasturi, and myself. And the concept for this video commercial was to show the Queen team, So it was fun and it was fashionable and we had to be friends and just enjoy. So between these two video commercials, there's different expressions, there's different posing, and there's different kinds of movements. On the right, you have us dancing and giggling, and on the left, it's a little bit sweeter, it's more demure. So that's something that you have to ask ahead of time prior to a shoot to know what are you going to be doing so that you can mentally and emotionally prepare yourself, and you can also get to know each other when you're behind the scenes getting ready. And trust me, it'll look really good on camera if you all get along. So earlier I mentioned something about nude modeling and how that's something completely different. I have to highlight here how, as long as your job is not dangerous, you have to set limits for what you can and cannot do. Do not be afraid to say it at the start when someone asks you, like, hey, can you be a model for my project? You have to set your boundaries, understand the value of your life. Because if, then you have to know when to draw the line. And if there's something wrong, don't be afraid to walk away. You have to keep your dignity and your own reputation, because not only are you representing the brand, but you're also representing yourself, your family, and where you come from in life. That's why you also have to be prepared. In my case, I will always ask, what shoes do I need to bring? Should I bring a strapless bra? And I always bring nude or black underwear, because in case they change my outfit later from a black gown to a white gown, at least my underwear is appropriate for the situation. Because if you wear black underneath white, then that will show through the attire. So you have to always come prepared and always ask ahead of time. Be a professional. You may encounter some people in life who are abusive, so always check the team, check their reputation, research. It is so common for society to assume that if you have a pretty face or you look nice, you may not have a brain. But trust me when I tell you this, always research and dig, ask questions. Don't be afraid to raise your hand in life and learn more. And because you're a model, also be a role model. Be responsible of your choices, even outside modeling, where you choose to hang out, who you hang out with, and what you're doing. These are things that you have to consider, because your choices and what you're associated to will affect your career. So make the right choices for your future. Now for the last segment is posing. I suggest to always ask for pegs and composition cards so you have a visual reference to know what is the desired outcome of the shoot, so that you can prepare what is your projection, what is your emotion and expression. You can practice in front of a mirror, practice in front of your family, and that makes it fun as a model. Prior to the shoot, that's really important to identify what is your best angle. If the photo shoot is just a face shot, a portrait shot, half body shot, or a full body shot, you need to study your figure and how you're going to present that outfit. Now, here are some examples. I was about 15 years old in this this photo shoot, and it was a catalog photo shoot. And what this means is we're highlighting the products or the brand. In this case, Gap was entering the Philippine market. And that's what they were trying to appeal to, my age group, 14, 15, 16-year-old young women. For this photo shoot, it was for a magazine called Z Lifestyle, and it was an editorial fashion, which means it's visually striking, it's high fashion, and it evokes. If you notice on the left, there are two images where my eyes are closed. Notice how when you look at those images, even though my eyes are closed, you can still feel a sense of emotion. So as a model, whether your eyes are open, your eyes are closed, you still have to exude a certain aura. And that's called the it factor. And that comes from your spirit. And you need to be completely conscious in the present moment to be able to bring out your spirit in that image. The funny thing with this photo shoot was that this magazine company, they've never done animals on the front page of their magazine before. So that was something that was also really fun that day, because the stylists were holding the goat and the goat was screaming and the whole makeup team were giggling and screaming. And then suddenly they gave me the goat, and then the goat is so calm and it looked straight in the camera. And the reason why I have to mention this is because even animals can feel your spirit. So you really have to maintain a certain calmness and composure. And that's what makes you likable when you work with other people. So enjoy what you do, have fun. For this next one, this is a magazine cover, and this was really interesting because the woman I'm modeling with, Janice Minor, she was the first Miss Cebu in 1980 or 1986, and I was the last Miss Cebu in 2016. So it was like the start of a chapter and the closing of a chapter. So for this photo shoot, they wanted to highlight unification between the generations. Lately, I've been doing some photo shoots here in Tokyo, and this was one where the concept was sexy and elegant. So these images you will see are my interpretation. As you can see in the dress, there's a slit, and I'm teasing the viewer by showing my legs, and I'm actually tensing my muscles so that they look nice. Otherwise, it would look very soft. So even my legs, I'm tensing, but if you look up to my hands are relaxed and my shoulders are relaxed. So that's why you have to be so present in the moment so that your face doesn't show that tensing, relax, relax. But you see that there's an elegance and a demureness in this photograph. While here, everyone I'm sure are familiar with Filipinianas, where you have the Imelda Marcos type of shoulder of the dresses. And I love this because it's kind of like holding a paypay, a fan, where like the women during that generation, they were so dainty and demure and they would hide behind the fan. And so I wanted to showcase that, like, you have to hold your dignity. So that's why I'm holding the shirt, or the top rather, of my outfit in a Filipiniana manner. But notice how my hands are very soft. So that's something to balance there. You have like the posture where the shoulders are rolled back. There's a strictness in my face. But even if my face is strict, my hands are soft. And when you look at this, at least for me, it's like, excuse me, but you can't be serious with that outfit. So you have to have fun with what's going on in your head. You have to imagine, because when you're posing in front of a camera or on a ramp, you cannot see yourself. You only have your imagination of what's in your mind. So be creative with your imagination and how you express yourself. Now, the stylist and the director felt like it was so elegant and poised that they wanted me to do something different. So I changed on the spot and I decided to start flipping my hair. And they thought it was really cool. So instead of just orange and blue light, they incorporated white light. And that's why you see in my hair, there's a different color now. And there's a different aura between all three of these images. There's diversity in it. And as a model, you have to think on your feet. You have to change on the spot to be able to adapt to the situation. And that's where being creative comes to mind. Now for this photo shoot, this was really fun because it wasn't about the outfit this time. It was about the lights. The photographer wanted to highlight the colorful lights of this photo shoot. So I was dancing, I was doing yoga poses, and it was just really fun. And that's something to always remember. Enjoy what you're doing. For this next photo shoot, the concept here was cool. Notice how the pants are different on each leg. One is straight and one is wide. When I was standing up for this photo shoot, I was kind of nervous because I felt awkward posing in it. So I decided to ask for a chair. And when I got the chair, I was able to then deliver what they were asking for me. And the concept of cool, I think it looks cool, is because I'm a woman biologically who's posing like a man. And I think that's what makes it kind of interesting. So for this shoot, prior to it, I was looking at cool guys and how they pose to prepare myself. And that's what prepared me for this photo shoot, because it's something different from the other pictures you've just seen. And because the legs have different kinds of pant widths, I had to really think about that. But you don't see struggle in my face. You see some kind of relaxation. So as a model, always keep your composure and be prepared. For this next photo shoot, this was for a makeup competition, and it's a worldwide makeup competition. And I cannot disclose the official images because the makeup artist is still competing. So by August, I'm going to publish the official images on my social media. But what I want you to see with the behind the scenes material is that this photo shoot is not like my previous work. This is only focusing on my face, from my collarbone to my face. And that's why they keep changing my shirt, because they're trying to find a way to show the gradient change of the makeup. They're trying to show the linear lines, the saturation, and I will now show you the images so you can imagine with me. So this is what the output, the desired output of the photo shoot was. It was just the makeup. I wasn't even allowed to move my face or my lips, only my eyes. The whole time, it's just my eyes showing expressions, eyes open and eyes closed. And the theme of this shoot was musician. So the makeup artist wanted to showcase David Bowie's lightning bolt. And whether your eyes are open and closed, you have to express yourself. I couldn't move my face because the makeup would then develop some cracks. And it took the makeup artist 4 hours to do this. So imagine me sitting still for 4 hours. The makeup artist was really happy because I didn't move an inch. And as a model, like I said earlier, you're like a hanger, you're like a mannequin. You really have to be present in the moment, maintaining the same posture for so long so that the other person can do their job and then you can do your job. And if you notice with my eyes open here, I kind of look like a tarsier that's been woken up from their sleep. But in this image, I kind of look like a deer where I'm more relaxed. So look in the mirror prior to your shoot and practice how are you going to pose. Because even though I'm just using my eyes, there are a lot of muscles for just the eyes to be able to do this. When it comes to posing, at my business, BaBeBoBs Beauty and Fitness Consultancy, I have also taught individuals how to pose in order to prepare for their debut or coming of age, when individuals start to enter adulthood and their parents want their children to pose properly for social gatherings and situations. Notice how in my client here, her hands are positioned by her waist. This form of hand position, we call it clipping. And when you clip your waist, you're supposed to clip very gently, very softly, because if you clip hard, notice how there are creases that are created in the cloth. You don't want that. You want a soft type of clipping where it looks natural. So between the two images, you have one where you have both hands on the waist, and this is what we call a commanding posture. But on the left, you have a posture where it's just one hand clipping the waist and the feet, the non-dominant foot is in the back, facing 45 degrees angle, going out. And then the foot in the front is facing the camera, because whenever you pose, you always want the front dominant foot to face the camera so that you're centered. And because this is the footwork, it allows her to now pop her hip. And when you pop your hip, women's biological hips will look rounder, which gives a fuller shape, an S-shaped curve, which exudes femininity. And that's what makes women attractive in pictures, is this S-shaped curve that you see here. Now notice how these young ladies, they're just preparing for their debut. They're not professional models. But even the way that they pose, there is an elegance and there is a grace. So I want you to think about that these are things that you can apply in your daily life, even with friends or in your graduation day or at a family gathering. It looks nice when you look back on the memories, even if the background is not nice, but your posing is nice. It's nice. It's a great thing to look back at these pictures and be like, wow, that was how I looked like when I was younger. And you cannot turn back the clock. So always remember, ladies and gentlemen and members of the LGBT community, chin up, bust out, stomach in, shoulders back, and remember to smile. Have fun. My final remarks for today is that you must push yourself. You must try so that you know what's your path. Experience and learn to determine what you really like and what it is and what is for you. While you're alive, you will always search what is best for you. You have to understand yourself. Some models have a short torso, but long legs, which is the case in my mom, which is my mother's case, and that's what makes her a very good ramp model. But in my case, I have a long torso and short legs, which makes me very good for pictorials. While for some individuals, they have a different face shape. So they would have a different hairstyle or a different type of makeup look. You have to study yourself and what suits you. Research, learn about your figure, learn about your face, learn about your skin type. You're going to spend a lifetime learning about yourself, and you're going to be mastering it every single day as long as you pay active attention and you don't get distracted. So it's good also to be simple, because when you go on stage, no one will expect that you're a dragon or a lion. If you're always so showy every single day, then you have nothing left to show. How you carry yourself, how you talk. Etiquette is important for any social situation. Don't be big-headed and always be polite so that people will like you and that people will always want to work with you. Develop not only your body, but also your brain and how you express your brain to the world. When you are born perfect. God gave you that image, and it's up to you how you improve it, how you change it, how you alter it, how you enhance it. It's your body, it's your temple. And you need to identify what you want to be. And there is always a consequence for your choice with whatever you do in your life. So whatever you do, give it 100% every single time, because the clock will never turn back and you don't want to live a life with regrets. Take the opportunity when it's there. If you're not sure, write out the pros and cons. Think about it. Ask for advice, do some research, read. Your generation is so lucky that you have so much access to different information at the hands of your fingertips with this technology. So use it to your advantage and don't waste time. And my last point, to be successful in any area of your life, be punctual. Arrive 10, 15 minutes early or on time. Be courteous. Please. Frazzled? No. When you arrive at the venue, be sure to go to the bathroom. Make sure there's nothing in your backpack or your bag is well organized. If the diner sees you're taking off the clean, so you have to treat everything with respect. And also, mind your own business. No chismis. Don't say anything bad about people, whether it's in front of their face or behind their back. Unless you're their best friend, be careful with your words because it can be very helpful. And I hope that you can take this with you in any industry that you proceed with in your life. So in this picture is an ordinary woman, the everyday woman. But that changes the moment you're on stage. And when You're edit a walk. So be sure to practice, but most importantly, love what you do, have fun, and enjoy. Give the audience a show, something that they can remember you for, because it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. Anyone in today's time can take a picture, but not everyone has that it factor. So if you want to learn more about the it factor, modeling, fitness, then simply ask me for advice and hit me up on social media or on my website. Don't be afraid to drop me a message because that's how I ended up in this lecture today, through a simple message on Instagram. So always be approachable and feel free to approach me. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Baljak, for that remarkable discussion. Actually, a lot of us are slouching earlier, but when you said, yes, but when you said good posture indicate poise, wow, I straight my back up already.
Same.
So,
Very good.
Alex,
Practice it every day. Make it a daily habit. It will really do you justice, especially because every single day we're aging. And when we're young, we don't notice it. But when we get older, we start to feel all the pain in our body. So start practicing when you're young, because when it becomes a natural habit, you will really enjoy life more.
as Ms. Raine Baljak said, to bust out, stomach in, chin up, and look far. Thank you so much, Ms. Rain.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I hope everyone get the glimpse of what Miss Rain wants to portray us. So, again, it's PWP, posture, and then the expressions, and then. But do you remember the other P, Zach?
The posing.
Yeah, the posing. Yes. Do- do you- I'm sorry. The
It's
slouching
okay.
is an issue for me because of online classes. I despise this online class. I always slouch. Okay. We move forward to our question and answer portion with Miss Rain Baljak. So, Kalikha, you may now raise your hand using the raise hand button if you have any questions or queries, and Miss Rain Baljak will be happily shed light on your queries. So, right? Do you have any questions for Miss Baljak? Attendees? Blue. Okay. Okay. I'll start na lang po, Miss Baljak, because you're modeling in the Philippines and also in Japan. So as early as like 12 or like the teen years, you have many experiences. So are there any bad experiences or struggles that you experienced, and how did you cope up with that situation?
Let me think. Because at that tender age, when you're going through your adolescence and your hormones are changing, and your mom, who is a professional model, is telling you, oh, you cannot dress like that. No, you need to keep your posture like this. You will really feel like overwhelmed, right? But at the end of the day, when you get older, you start to appreciate your seniors and their advice more and more, because as you age, you start to mature. But when you're young and you're going through all of these hormonal changes, it will affect and sometimes cloud your thought. That was a big problem on my end when I was younger. But as I got older, I began to ask more questions from the professionals that I worked with, whether it was a makeup artist, a photographer, like, oh, why are we using this on my face? Oh, why are we doing these lights? Why is this the backdrop? Even though I'm the model, I want to get involved with more things that are happening around me. So if you're thinking about challenges, there are always going to be challenges in your path. But as long as you are curious or you take initiative, then it helps you find a way out of the challenge that you're facing. In my situation, I've never encountered abusive people. And I'm very lucky because I always ask my mom for advice. Like, oh, hey, mom, what do you think about me doing this? So I think that's my advantage in my situation. For some people, they might have a different situation. So I'm really just speaking from my own experience here. So don't be afraid to ask your elders. Don't be afraid to ask a friend who may have experience in that industry to gather some insight. So don't be afraid to raise that hand, is all I'm really saying here.
Yes, thank you, Miss Baljak. I hear Zach. Do you have any questions for Miss Rain?
Um, Miss Rain, I'm just curious, what is your unforgettable experience during your whole modeling career
Unforgettable
or life changing?
um, I'm really thinking about this because I've had so many different experiences throughout different stages of my life. And I think that's the fun there. Like, as you grow up, and if you're a teen, like, you're all still teens, assuming you're all still 18, 19, 20, I would still consider you young. And the nice thing about this age is that you still have the opportunity to try different things and to explore yourself. And so take advantage of that. Like, try, as a model, you have to try many different poses. And the good thing, if you're a fit person, like in my case, doing barbells makes my body toned and doing yoga makes me flexible. So if on the spot I have to cartwheel in a photo shoot, I have no problem doing that, which is something unique and different. But being prepared for any situation, it allows you to have more fun in what you do. In my case, I think when I was younger, I took for granted that I came from this legacy. And it wasn't until I became like Miss Cebu that opportunity came onto my hands. And I was really contemplating, should I join or should I not join? And it was the night before the last day where you could submit your applications when I decided to join. I wrote down the pros and cons if I joined this year and not next year. And I'm glad I did that because the following year they abolished that pageant. So I became the last Miss Cebu. And that became a big turning point in my career. And the reason why I joined Miss Cebu was that it did not have a swimsuit segment in the competition. That beauty pageant was all about how you could talk and how you represent the tourism sector of the government. And at that age, I was 18 when I joined the competition. And because the competition is 3 months long, the coronation night was right after my 19th birthday. So at that age, I was really concerned about my community. I don't know why, that's just how I am. Maybe because my grandma is someone who really like loves to serve people. Maybe that's where I get it from. But I was just so concerned about the community and what would happen because in the tourism industry, you always have foreigners who tend to, not always, but tend to disobey garbage disposal and like disciplinary issues in the community. So I joined the competition to have a place in society to be able to have a larger impact. And that to me is what mattered at the time and why I wanted to join. I wanted to uplift the children. I wanted to empower women. And so I used that platform to really speak out about things that I thought that was important. So I guess that was one of the biggest turning points of my life that I still credit to this day.
Thank you so much, Miss Rain. I think there's one more question. Yes, Miss Sheila, you can unmute yourself.
Hi, Miss Rain. Good afternoon. My question is, ay wait, yung camera ko. Ayan.
Ooh, nice jacket.
Thank you, Miss Rain. Um, for starters in modeling, is it okay to deem our price for a shoot or we should start it for free?
Whoa, I like your question. Um, when you're doing that first shoot, how did you find that shoot?
I mean, it's for a clothing brand like local street shirt. It's simple.
Okay,
But
so
elegant.
and the street shirt company approached you?
Yes.
Okay, then it's fair for you to set your price.
What if the owner is my friend, like we're very close, but business is business,
I understand that, and it's really a tricky thing. That's why in a lot of cases, a model works for an agency because the agency or the handler or the manager would normally take care of that financial exchange. And the reason why that's a separate entity from the model is because if the negotiation doesn't go well, then the company gets angry at the handler and not the model. So the model's reputation is not tarnished. So that's an advantage if you work for an agency or you have a manager because they will take care of that. But the consequence, if they do that, is that they will take a percentage, and the percentage differs. 10 to 40% of what you earn will go to the handler, and some handlers will take care of the income tax aspect. If not, then you'll still have to deduct that after. In your situation, I'm guessing you're the one who's doing the negotiation, right?
Yes.
And they're a friend of yours.
Um,
So I would ask for an MOA, a memorandum of agreement, so that it makes everything official. And normally, when you construct that memorandum of agreement or that contract, both parties can negotiate and it's an open floor to share what you have to say. And that MOA, you can actually take it to legal court if you have to. So that protects your rights and their rights. So notice how earlier I said, don't be afraid to set your limitations. So that's a really important time to set those limitations. No nudity, no this kind of outfit. I'm not gonna go to Timbuktu in a different country, something like that. So don't be afraid to put your foot down, but when you do put your foot down, say it nicely so that they don't also have some bitterness after the negotiation. So just be very mindful, choose your words carefully, okay? I hope this helps.
Thank you, Miss Rain. This really helps a lot.
All right, we have another hand here. Yes, Miss
Woo!
Juliana, you
Hi,
may.
Miss Rain. I'm Juliana. My question is, what is your advice for people who dreams to be a model but are afraid to pursue it because they think that they don't meet the standards of becoming a model?
Could you repeat the last few words? They don't?
Like, because they don't think that they meet the standards of becoming a model.
Ah, okay. I like this. Have you seen this model who is African American by birth, but she has white patches of albino skin? I forget her name every time, but she's so popular on social media these days. I'm sure you've seen her face.
Yeah.
So she's someone who does not fit the standard, but somehow her look is so interesting that companies and designers hire her. And now she's a supermodel. And she worked for it. She didn't just like accept the first thing and that was it. No, she really like honed her skills and practice, and she really evolved. If you look at her pictures from the start of her career to where she is now, she really evolved as a person in her career. Another example, there's a Greek model who's blonde haired, but her eyebrows are naturally dark brown and she has a unibrow. And a stylist told her to shave her unibrow, and she was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm proud of my family heritage, because her whole family has these unibrows. And she really flaunted it confidently, and she earned the respect in her industry because she just honed that natural thing that she has, her God-given beauty. And she just like, exuded that to everyone. And everyone just accepted it. I think last year, this is another example, last year, Burberry did a campaign with a young woman who has Down syndrome. So, individuals with that type of chromosome deficiency, they look a certain way. And I just thought that was admirable because it highlights other members of our community that deserve that platform to be able to have a global stage, because these are members of our community. This is the everyday person. Like, we're all part of this society. So we all need to respect and work with each other's differences. So to answer your question with all of these examples, you have to believe in yourself. Because if you cannot convince yourself and believe in you, then no one will believe in you. You have to be your first support, your first cheerleader, your own motivation team. And slowly, other people will feel that from you. And then you'll really get the ball rolling. Join some competitions. Use those hashtags on the social media. Don't be afraid if that's something that you really believe in. Pursue it with all your heart, 100% and even more, if that's what you truly believe and desire in your life.
Thank you, Miss Rain.
My pleasure, Juliana.
Miss Rain, I have a question po.
Yeah.
Is there distinct quality or feature in order for you to be labeled as either under the high-end modeling or in the ramp modeling or in the commercial modeling po?
If there is a distinct quality, what I notice for ramp or runway models, they're normally 5'7" and up, which is 170 centimeters in most cases, especially for the European market. And that's because Europeans are naturally genetically taller than Asians. But if you're modeling in the Japanese industry or even in the Philippine industry, you will find models below 170 centimeters, which means that they're sometimes 5'3", 5'4", 5'5", and in my case, I'm 5'6" and a half. So I'm not even there yet. But you have to look at which market do you want to work in. So that takes research. So if runway is where you really want to go into, then there are many ways to start there. You can join a workshop, you can join a competition, you can bombard like different agencies and hope that one day they will barge and accept you, which is kind of like Pia Wurtzbach's situation. She tried Miss Universe 3 times, and the third time, that's when she got in. So believe in yourself. Now with commercial modeling, the advantage of someone who has a longer torso, it looks nice if you're wearing long gowns or for bikinis, especially in the Philippines. There's always going to be a bikini shoot. It's normal. So that's an advantage in commercial. But what was the other one? Sorry.
High-end, ma'am.
High-end fashion. So high-end fashion are normally editorials, so like magazines. These are the global companies, global designers. What I notice between all 3 industries, if someone just likes your look, they'll find you and they'll contact you as long as you're discoverable. So you have to really establish yourself in the market, and word has to get around in order for people to find you. And somehow you'll find your way to them, and they'll find their way to you, as long as you're always active and you're consistent with what you do. And that consistency is actually apparent in any industry, not just in modeling, but also in other industries. So be consistent in what you do. You have to identify, do you like pictorials more? Do you like runways more? Do you like that high-end fashion more? Or do you like, more indigenous fashion? There's so many different kinds of things in this day and age. So try to discover what do you want and then work towards it, as long as you have a clear vision of what your end goal is.
Oh, I see, Miss Rain. Is it okay if I ask a follow-up question?
Yeah,
Regarding-
sure.
For you po, which platform do you think is a good way to start your own brand or craft? Is it okay if it's on Instagram, or is it advisable to go to a workshop or or enroll in the classes?
Okay. So if you're someone who has no prior experience walking in heels, posing, modeling, then I highly recommend you seek a professional of the field to learn from them. You can even, in today's time, go on YouTube and watch videos. And I think that's helpful because you can even watch videos in a day in the life of a model. And I think that helps you also learn more about what it's truly like to identify if that world is really something that you want to be in. Because take into account that as a model, there are a lot of dietary restrictions That's why I exercise consistently because I love food. I can't stop eating. My family knows this. I'm like always eating. But I discipline myself with what time I have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Otherwise, my figure will change. So, maintaining good posture is a good way to start on how to discipline yourself. So, finding a professional and learning from them is a great place to start. Researching online, even reading books. Some models, like Orlando Bloom's wife, um, Miranda Kerr, she published a book about her experiences in modeling. So read about it as well because you can find some tips there. And then after you've gathered some experiences of your own, then search for opportunities where you can model. Some magazines have competitions where they're looking for a fresh face. I know Preview or Metro Magazine in Manila, they held a competition, like it's like annual. So look into that. Otherwise, look into other countries because the beauty of being Filipino is that we kind of blend to other Asian countries. We're not so different looking from in Thailand, sometimes with Japan, sometimes with Vietnam. So use the World Wide Web to your advantage to find opportunities to take yourself into the world.
Thank you so much, Miss Rain. I hope everyone takes note of that. So always grab opportunities and improve in your craft if you want talaga. So again, thank you so much, dear participants and Miss Rain. With this, we go forward to our next segment, which is the mentioning of our challenge, which is our hashtag Let's Chat Style and Slay.
where you will be given the liberty and creativity to create a fashion design modeling output inspired by the theme that the speaker will pick. So, Miss Rain, what will be your themes for this challenge?
My first theme is singing in the rain. So, right now it's rainy season in the Philippines, and I want you to embrace the joys of water, this element, this cleansing element. So grab your umbrella, wear your raincoat, wear your rain farmer boots, and go outside. Take some pictures, do a dance, sing along to the old song, Singing in the Rain. Just have fun in the rain. Whether it's like a video commercial, you can even pose in the rain, work that umbrella, work that raincoat. I just have fun with it. And the concept is really singing in the rain. There's an old movie that you can look at for the video that came from that film. So check that out. And point number two, a lot of us today love music. It helps us get through this pandemic time where we're isolated and quarantined and oh my gosh, I'm socially anxious. So I want you to find a song. You can just use 10 or 15 minutes of that song, your favorite song of your favorite artists, and I want you to dance to that song, sing to that song, or have a catwalk fashion show to that song. That song is like your feel good song. So when you're feeling down because of uncontrollable events in your day, that's just, you can't handle it, then I want you to just sing and be free because as a model, you cannot walk into a photo shoot looking like you were crying because a boyfriend broke up with you or because your car crashed. Like, those are things out of your control. You have to be a professional. So find a song that makes you happy. And I want you to do a TikTok or a catwalk thing or dance to that favorite song. So the second challenge, sorry, is called Pop Star. Yeah.
Yes.
So you can do like a lip sync battle, like just have fun with it. Because as a model, you're that's kind of like your role. You're like an actor in a way. You're playing different roles. So practice that skill.
All right. Thank you, Miss Rain. There you have it, guys. So outputs will be featured in all of LPU LIKHA's social media accounts. You can send us pictures and or videos like TikToks as like Miss Baljak said to our email at taralikha@gmail.com. Of course, with the subject hashtag Let's Chat Style and Slay.
Please do not forget to include your full names, social media links, and short description about your output. And again, don't be pressured because we'll be giving you 1 month to accomplish and submit your outputs. During the 1 month, As early as submission will also be featured. Sorry.
So for further clarifications, you may message us after the webinar on our social media accounts presented on your screens.
We hope you're already thinking about your outputs, Kalika, and please be reminded that you can submit one or multiple entries.
So with that, we would like to call on Miss Emery Joy Lapat for the presentation of the E-Certificate of Appreciation, which afterwards will be another photo opportunity. So please, ready your cameras later.
LPU Likha, in partnership with Tanghalang Batingao, LPU UNICEF volunteers, and LPU Central Student Government, would like to present this e-certificate of appreciation to Ms. Raine Baljak for imparting her knowledge and giving out meaningful insights in the field of modeling and fitness in LPU Likha's Let's Chat, Pose, Strut, and Model, a fashion and modeling webinar, given this 26th of June, 2021.
All right, let's give Miss Rain a round of applause, everyone. Yes.
At this juncture, we would like to request our participants open their cameras for a gorgeous photo opportunity with Miss Raine Baljak. Prepare your fierce look, Kalika.
Please don't forget, don't slouch.
Thanks, Marge.
All right, open your cameras. Cute, cute, cute. Go, guys, don't be shy. Share with us your fierce looks,
Ooh.
looks.
Yes, open cameras.
Okay, everybody ready? One, two, three, smile. One more time.
With
One,
posing.
2, 3, smile. And another one in together mode. So,
Guys, no
one,
smiling, please.
2, 3, smile. And another one. 1, 2, 3, smile.
All right, thank you so much, dear
Thank
participants.
Yay.
Thank you, Miss Rain,
everyone.
for your uplifting and inspiring discussion from Japan. Thank you very much.
It's my pleasure. I really applaud your entire team for organizing these series of webinars. I know how busy university students are and how it can get. So I really applaud you for being well organized and managing your time well enough to be able to accommodate this on your weekend. So it's actually congratulations to all of you. Thank you for having me.
Yay.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you,
Miss
Miss
Rain. We're
Raine.
very honored.
It's my
This
pleasure.
this has been truly fun and insightful webinar, don't you think, guys?